Okay, one more thought I'd like to talk about before we finish up the next section. I've talked about the importance of pale ink and keeping a journal and making sure that you write down what you did. You've got to understand that the way you become an excellent person is to develop great habits. And great habits happen when you measure and record the brutal truth on paper. If you don't keep a journal, you will quickly forget about the fact that you wasted 2 weeks here and 2 weeks there not getting anything done. At least nothing of strategic importance. So, we've talked about having an idea journal, but the truth is you need to have an overall journal, a journal that you keep what happened, what you plan to do today, and what you actually got done. There's a basic truth that the most successful people in history have a few critical things in common. First of all, they all have clear goals. They know where they're going. They know where their true north is. Secondly, they arrange their tasks by true priority. Basically, what it means is that they always work on what's their number one priority, whether it's something easy to do or something that's hard to do. I think all of us are guilty from time to time of looking at our task list, and we know that that item is the most important item that has to get done. But then we start working right away, starting with item number 2, because item number 2 and number 3 and number 4 and number 5 look a lot easier than that first one, because that first one's a hard one. If you're going to be genuinely rock and roll, big time home run successful, the only way is to always work on your true number one item for the day. It will always, for one thing, it'll give you great satisfaction. You'll know that you got your number one item done. And as soon as you get that number one item done, you then look back at your list and decide what the next number one item is. So in another way of putting it, this is putting big rocks first, taking those strategic, important tasks and doing them first, because all these other urgencies that people are going to pile on you are ultimately going to fit around that big rock because you're working on the thing that's most strategically important. I personally always work on my big rock first thing in the morning. I know I'm better between the hours of, let's say, 8:30 and 11:30 than I am any other time during the day. In the afternoon, a lot of things have piled up. I'll wind up checking my email, seeing all the things that I need to respond to, and I'll wind up working on tiny little urgencies in the afternoon. So I always make sure that I work on the most important thing, the number one thing on my list, the first 2-3 hours of the morning. As Zig Ziglar puts it, outstanding people have one thing in common. They have an absolute sense of mission. You have to get to that point where you know exactly what your mission is. Not only for today, what your mission is for this month, what your mission is for this week. You have to be clear, or that time will simply be water that goes under the bridge. Making progress on our goals is very different than making progress on our daily life commitments. Our daily life commitments are things that call us. If our kid needs to be picked up at school and you don't show up, I guarantee you the phone will ring soon enough. All those kind of daily commitments tend to call us instead of us having to make sure we get them done. Our goals are rarely urgent matters. They're really only important to us, and therefore the phone never rings when you're not getting your own goal done. So put those strategic items on your list, make an appointment calendar with yourself, make sure you get them done. Ultimately, I think that is the lesson. If you think about it this way, if you were to accomplish just one strategically important task every single day for 365 days a year, how extraordinary would your progress be? I think the answer is it'd be mind-blowing. If you keep a journal, you'd realize how few days right now you do manage to work on something that is genuinely on your hardcore goals list. That would be a great habit to think about. That'd be a great habit to build. And the way you do that is to keep a journal, first and foremost, and be honest. Write down what you plan to do today, and then see if you actually got it done.